bringing up anything specific. I just think just a total letdown. Your
Yeah,
heart is ripped completely out, torn inside out. Um, your whole dreams, everything come falling crashing down, and you gave your all. You put everything out. You put yourself out there in good faith and trust, and you just thought it was. You thought it was everything, and blindly. You realize it was blind. And you
right.
you didn't believe it at first, but once it all come crashing down, then it could turn to disgust. But I think momentarily, I don't think that it should be something that you hold on to because life still goes on. But I think there's many situations that allow a man to go from love to straight disgust. I mean, we've been looking at certain situations of very bad divorces where, the family get ripped apart, the men are going through a whole lot and, maybe the women are too, but in fact, yeah, there are a couple of women. We can talk about some of the women right now that are getting wrung out in court.
Yeah,
Um, Everything that they work hard for on their own, and then because the other parent has the kids, they want all the child support, they want all the spousal support, they want all, you know what I mean? Just tearing them all the way down
hmm,
in every way that they can, even if they're capable of being there. So I think there's a multitude of reasons, but it mostly falls in line of just putting it all out there on the table,
right.
in all good faith before God. That's why You know, this I've always said back in the day, bro, that this is satire show. Sometimes we say a lot of crazy stuff, and we not experts or anything, but we just like two brothers that women come talk to if they want an honest opinion about what a man think. I'll give you my honest opinion, but I could say that's probably why I didn't get married when I was a little younger because I started seeing certain things, and I'm like, I don't know about that. And then when I started realizing the mistakes I was making. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, by the time I get the woman, if I don't get this together, man, she gonna leave my ass too." So, it's a lot it's a l that it's very loaded to say, like, the love get turned to disgust. It gotta be everything, like, you at the peak and everything come crashing down. I mean, the level of disappointment and heartache and everything has to be devastating
Right.
for somebody to just have just disgust. But I took a lot of time with that. What do you
Oh,
think?
you gave an answer. I appreciate it. No problem. I would say I agree with you 100%, brother Noon. And to give my response, what makes a man turn love into disgust is the things that he and the woman shares intimately throughout a period of time that turns into a genuine love. And a genuine love opens up your heart. It also opens up your fucking bank account. Um, and it lets your guard down. You have trust. And if it's true love and true trust that has uh just been a drop a day to fill that glass in a sense, and now you're filled and you're at a level of, in your own opinion, of course, that you're at a level that nothing can stop us, nothing can break us from here. And this person or this woman does something to let you know that everything was a waste of time, everything was just a lie, and you were told that just so you could feel good, and they knew the right answer. It makes everything you felt that was genuine love um, was just a front. Um, that person could do something to you that changes your world and your life forever, and or this person could show you a side of them that throughout the whole time that you develop this love and trust, or just genuine stuff, show you something so ugly at a drop of a dime, you have no other choice but to accept it, see it, and it'll discuss you. And those are different. Those are all different types of situations. You could have someone make you feel like they're in your corner and they got your back, and they listen to you and keep your secrets and help you out during a time of need. But you may get sold out for $1.
Man.
Come on.
Yeah.
Um, it's all different types of situations. You could deal with a woman and be at your lowest, and she accepts you, and you guys could be trying to, build and get it the right way together as a couple or a team, trying to become a power couple. You remember how people used to say that word about 3 or 4, 7 years ago?
Yeah,
Uh,
that was a big thing back in the day.
Power
Yeah.
couple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do all of that, and she leave you for the next best thing just because it's more easier on her life. And men do the same thing, but yeah, that's how you can get disgusted with an individual or a woman, in my opinion.
And and I like that you said that because that power couple thing, right? I can see that. I can see people wanting to do that if they both have a common goal. But you know what we get mixed up with that? Trauma bonding.
Hmm.
And you still not strong enough to get through the trauma, but because you know this person has a similar trauma, you find comfort in that.
Hmm.
And because you're comfortable in that, both of you, you end up not working on it and just end up being traumatic to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like if I would be with somebody who's in therapy, they working on themselves and they're actively doing something, but somebody who's not and they just talking about what they went through and they just like, "Oh, I don't want to." Like it's not a red flag per se, but it's like they need to see that it's more than just discussing it with random people. Like you really do need professional help. You need to go through certain there's certain things that you can do. um the professionals, they'll have you do certain the word's not coming to me right now. My bad, y'all. It's the red cup. You know how I be doing. But um but they have these different exercises. I'll just
Hmm.
say that. There's different exercises that you do to help you work through those traumas.
Right.
And just getting away from somebody, that's one of the first steps, but, the other step is, like, looking at yourself and seeing what you could have done to prevent yourself from being put in a situation like that. So I think a lot of times when people get together, they might get mixed up with the commonalities they have with each other. It's really just the trauma. That person can understand you because of that, but what about understanding you as far as wanting to grow, wanting to be better, wanting to change, you know what I'm saying? Like, for
Right.
yourself so that you can be more healthy with that person. We end up just doing the same stuff over and over again. My bad, I got these long fingers, y'all know how this. So, but that's what happens. So, I'm glad that you have mentioned that power couple thing. If you with somebody in a relationship and you want to do power couple things, man, make sure that y'all got a power couple mindset, meaning that y'all done already worked on or actively working on y'all thing and y'all serious about, I'm not letting outside influence trigger us to, take any negative steps back in that trauma. Like we're gonna always take forward steps. And if we do make a mistake, we're gonna be there for each other to, hey, remember what we was taught here, remember we learned here, or maybe we should call our therapist and work that out, until you're able to really do it because we a lot of people don't feel comfortable talking to therapists. So
Right.
yeah, get that professional help, y'all.
Right. Speaking about therapy, do you think a man should experience going to therapy?
Yes, sir, absolutely. Most I could say the majority. First of all, I go to therapy.
Okay.
Um, I think most men, there's not enough resources out there to help men who are going through something that's personal that they may be embarrassed of, and there's like a group there for them. It's not they're out there, but it's not that many. So if you don't have that, at least the least you can do is invest in your mental health by going and speaking to somebody that's a professional can help you deal with it. That way it kind of save you the embarrassment. You're with somebody who specialize in A, B, and C, and all they give you the first thing you do, you take a self-assessment, all right? And just based on it's very basic. Sometimes it's very basic. But when you fill that out, then they make a determination as to what's really going on with you. And then you start seeing a therapist for the first time, and that's still kind of like an introductory type thing. That may not be the person that you're going to be really talking to, and then after that, after they assess the situation and look, they may act because the form that you fill out is real generic,
Hmm.
but they ask more in depth questions, and then after that, then they determine, who would be who would suit best for your situation. And then you could talk to them. And I could say that being able to speak to somebody about my day in and day out, at one point I was talking to mine every week.
Hmm.
Now it's like every couple of weeks. Honestly, I would like to get back to doing it every week just because my regular life, my workload and stuff, it's a lot of things that I'm dealing with the responsibilities that I have. So sometimes I just got to get stuff off my chest.
Right.
But when it comes to working on like personal things, with my children and how I feel about what was said, and I could, you can't tell your kids every single thing you thinking right in that moment. You want to make sure you say it in a way that a child will understand. You don't want to jump too far ahead of them. If I haven't found a way to put it in such a way to where it won't offend my children or it won't make them feel like, oh, I'm a hindrance to my dad, stuff like that. You want to be able to get some of that negativity off you and find other ways to do it. So I think it's a very, very good and healthy thing for men to seek therapy because mentally we deal with a lot and society teaches us that we're not supposed to be so outwardly like in front of people spewing out all of our problems emotionally like how our counterparts do. So that's a safe space where you can kind of get a little bit of that off and they help you deal with it once you start addressing people again. So I'd highly recommend it.
Good. Uh, yeah.
All right, God dog it. My damn bladder. My
I
bladder
do
kicked in.
apologize that technical difficulties.
But look, I just realized that song toxic as hell. It sound good, but ooh, girl, I know you. He said you got your own lockdown, but I got the master
La
key.
la la la. All
Oh
right.
man, let
Anyway,
me stop.
la 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 la.
Right, it just sound good. Some toxic shit.
Can
Anyway.
you imagine if we did that at the meeting? Rita? La 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 la. Ooh, I'm getting hot.
Only thing that's been here staying.
Shout out to everybody in the live, man. Shout out to Instagram. Shout out to YouTube. Shit. Shout out to Facebook. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my mama friends that I sent this YouTube to. Yeah, I got some YouTube. I sent this to my mama friend, church friend.
ZILLA and that T2 Nindy, them some fine young man.
Y'all look good. All
Young
right, now
man.
check this out. This is how I feel about therapy, man. Because before I experienced professional therapy, I never knew what it was. And when I found out what professional therapy was, I wasn't fucking impressed. And this is why. I wasn't impressed because once I found out that somebody was getting paid to listen and give you some advice that is very sound and let's just say basic for logical, rational thinking and choice making. Fair enough.
Yeah, I get it.
I learned that, or I experienced, and I saw that personally. That I've been blessed to have that my whole life with people that got sense in my family, and also the people that they know they got sense that they were close enough with that they was able to speak to me growing up. And I thank God for that for one. But I had people in my life that listened, that explained and told me what they needed to tell me, regardless. Excuse me. Some of it was gentle, some of it was soft, some of it was tough, and some of it was harsh. But nonetheless, it was all true. And also experiencing and having people in my life that um understood understood where I was coming from when they listened to me and still gave me an understanding. And it carried on throughout my childhood from women and men. Now, I've been to professional therapy twice.
Mhm.
And the first time was a woman, the second time was a man. The first time I went to therapy I had was between the ages of 19 and 21. And I can't even remember what the hell was the problem, to be honest with you. I think I was just going through some shit that, young men go through
Mhm.
growing up. But I remember actually walking into the place. I admitted myself. I talked to the lady, and the lady let me know. She called me by my name. She said, "Zilla, um, you're all right. You're all right." And she gave me something that I've already experienced, but she gave me a confirmation to let me know that A, I'm all right, but
Yeah.
B, ain't nobody been really telling me nothing wrong my whole life, even though I was hard headed and wanted to do my own thing, right?
Mhm.
And the second time I went to therapy was a man, and that was because I had suicidal thoughts.
Mm.
And when I explained to him and was able to communicate and articulate the words that I did, and this was, I want to say 24, not 23 or 25. I think it was. I believe I was 24. Um, he listened to me and he let me know that I know the problem, or I know the answers to my problem. And when I wanted to, you know, accept life and quit bullshitting, same thing my father was telling me, the same thing other men was telling me. Uh, Life will get better and change out.
Mm.
And he also let me know that the way I spoke to him and listened to him and comprehended or whatever else he saw, he said, you could do this damn job. And when he told me that, I made sure I didn't have another motherfucking appointment with that insurance not paying for that shit that I was gonna have to pay for. I canceled that shit. I said, you make sure you can, and he did. He canceled that shit for me. He made sure I didn't have a bill because they wouldn't go listen to my black ass. They thought I
Right.
was crazy, but he actually saw that I wasn't crazy because I thought I was. I kept on getting called crazy, and when I quit bullshitting, same thing my father told me. Same thing my father told me. And other men that God put in my life. Everything would change. And I can't even say I left that therapist and changed right away. But I know it was a seed that he planted.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've never went to therapy again. However, I've had conversations, long conversations with with people who could be therapists. They're just not therapists. They're just people that God put on this earth.
Yeah.
So
That's
I've been blessed to have people talk to me uh, like your grandmother would and
yeah.
give you the real deal spiel, you know.
Hmm.
And um, that's been going on my whole life.
That's good. And it's good to have that outlet because depression and stuff will sneak up on you. You know, something it's a lot of people who don't even know they depressed. When you in the middle, when you in the eye of the storm, you don't realize how devastating the storm is because you're right there in the eye. So it appears to be calm to you, but it's really not. Everything is so destructive around you, and you don't realize it. So there's been times where, like, okay, when I was a kid, I kind of had a similar experience because of my upbringing and growing up in a broken family, and me being the oldest. I had endured a lot of things. You know what I mean? I had to be a man child. I had to help raise my siblings and stuff like that. That's stuff that a lot of us had experienced growing up. But I was an honor roll student, and they was concerned about me falling by the wayside. So they had given me a therapist, and this when I don't even was I a teenager? I could have been a teenager. I can't remember how old I was, but I do remember rejecting the therapist because it just didn't seem genuine. This person didn't connect with me in any kind of way. It seemed like that I was just some kind of test subject to them. And like I was a sketch artist. They'll try to decipher my artwork and I guess that's a skill that they have, but I just felt like they was missing the mark because my art as I was a kid was like an escape from everything I was going through. So I would never do artwork as a reflection of what I was actually going through. I actually did everything outside. I drew outside of what I was actually going through. You wouldn't be able to tell what I was going through my art. You just have to ask me and talk to me. So I didn't really like that. So I rejected it. I didn't start accepting therapy until I was in my mid 20s which I did. I didn't realize I was depressed, I got so deep in my depression, I wasn't eating or nothing. I didn't even realize it. I was helping my siblings out. I would barbecue. I'd do all type of stuff, man. But I never ate. My mind was so focused on everything else. I never really took care of myself. And I remember one day I got up out of bed, man, and I was light as a feather. I probably was like a buck 40 or something like that. And and it got to the point where when I started realizing it started getting my attention because I lost so much weight. And then I start feeling the physical effects of it. My body was aching and all that stuff. So I started going to the doctor, just think like, what the hell's wrong with me? You know what I mean? And still wasn't eating. I just didn't, I hadn't thought about it. And I remember my grandmother, um, she would always see me going in my car and driving every night. Like it got the pain was so unbearable at night that I would just get up and just go to the doctor. But then by the time I get there, something about the smell of a hospital. When you get there, your symptoms go away.
Right.
Really weird. So I always would feel normal again. So they just like, man, we don't your vitals are good. Yeah, you're a little thin, but your vitals are good. You seem in good health. I think you're fine. You're just going through something, whatever. So they didn't really take me that serious. But I remember my grandmother went one time and she was like, listen, my grandson, he been getting up every morning 3 o'clock in the morning, coming here, and he never get an answer. Can y'all please help him? And I remember this one doctor, he just sat down and he just talked to me, like the most basic things about what it was that I did throughout the day. And he said, just take me through a regular day. Like, what do you do? And I told him, and that's when he brought it to my attention. He said, so did you actually eat? Or I was like, I cooked. He's like, what about, what did you eat though? I'm like, now that I think about it, I don't remember the last time I ate. You know what I'm saying? And that was an eye opener for me. And then that's when I realized the benefits of therapy. That was my first therapy session.
Right.
And it was with somebody who heard my grandmother heard concern in her voice. He said, because the other doctors, they were really was just about to just, like, go, you can go home. You all right. Your vitals are good. We checked your blood. There's nothing wrong with you. Check the urine. You're good. You're perfectly healthy. You just thin. You know what I'm saying? So this doctor brought it to my attention that that was going on. And then that's when I had started actually doing therapy. I didn't realize the traumas that all the things that I was doing growing up and helping my family and all the pressures that I had that I didn't realize that I had. All that was weighing down on me heavy. So you can be depressed and not even really know. Like a
Right.
lot of, what happens with people today? A lot of people manifest depression, but just because they have a moment of feeling a certain way and they keep saying, I'm depressed, I'm depressed, I'm depressed, I'm depressed, I'm depressed. Well, if you keep telling yourself that, that's exactly what you are.
Hmm.
But depression, I learned, is something that it can be manifest, but it's also something that just it's in your environment and you don't even realize it's there. It will sneak up on your ass. Like, I didn't know that I was depressed until after speaking about what was happening. So, um, ever since then, it it changed a lot, and I was way more open to therapy. So, just be mindful, know yourself, be honest with yourself. If anybody watching it, I don't mind giving a piece of myself to the people. You know what I mean? Because I weigh what 220 now, 220, 225. I love eating. You know, I take care of myself, take care of my family. You know what I mean? But I'm more aware of what I do, what I allow myself to get put in, in certain spaces, and how I deal with people now, how I deal with myself. And I'm not ashamed to tell myself, hey, I'm a little overwhelmed. I need to decompress. I need to do this. I need to do that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You know, and if it does get out of hand, you can pray about it. And not only can you pray about it, you could go seek some professional help where at least you know when you talk to them that it's not gonna go all through the neighborhood about what you're going through. You got a
Right.
professional who made an oath to medicine, an oath to whatever that they do, and they're supposed to keep that confidential and help
Yeah.
you. So that's important.
And I've
I got a
experienced that too.
question that says, how do you show self-care to yourself on a daily basis? You want to tackle that one? Or was that
Um,
know if that was for me or not? But
how you show self care to yourself on a daily basis? That's all different types of ways a man can do. You could exercise, meditate. Some people like to moisturize.
that's me. I like them oils. Shout out
Come
to the
on,
nut
come on.
oil.
You know,
The oil for the
you
chest.
keep
All right,
yourself
ladies.
clean.
Chest.
You know,
Oil.
keep
I'm
yourself
sorry.
healthy. You always, just make sure you keep yourself looking presentable. Self care could be avoiding things that aren't aligned up with you. That's self care. Being able to discern things and move a certain way to avoid certain situations. Uh, Self care could be trying to educate yourself. Self care could be things such as going to therapy so he can get himself right for anybody in his life. This self care is all different types of things.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Zilla pretty much said everything. My perspective is pretty much what he said. I mean, you just realizing every day that you're there to learn something, and don't forget what you learned the day prior. You up, you up and able to advance yourself just a little bit more. Be careful what spaces you put yourself in. Um, be careful what you eat. And be careful of who you let around you, how you affect your people or how you allow them to affect you. Um, of course, prayer, meditation, however you want to do it. Have that sense of peace and where and understanding that you only tackle the things that you can handle right then and there, and don't dwell on the things that are out of reach because you don't want to be chasing the carrot at the end of the stick. So just always having that willingness to learn. You learn every day. Don't think just because you had a good day yesterday that it's going to be good today. I mean, it's good to think positive, but you have to continually work towards that every single day. So
Right.
yeah, it's the physical thing. Yeah, you make sure you take care of yourself, groom yourself. Of course, you look good, you feel good, right? But then after that, then it's once you look good and feel good, now you have to make sure that you maintain what's inside. So yeah, there you go. Don't forget to give yourself positive affirmations. Give yourself credit for greatness you've achieved. That's right. And we love you back, goddess.
You're damn right.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
So thank you.
Another way I like to self care is I like to cocoa butter my nuts, and then I top them off with a little nut oil that I created. Uh, but yeah, self care such as like that. Uh, Cocoa butter in your nuts, keeping your nails clean, making
Mm,
sure your breath smell good.
that's important.
You know,
Yeah.
find
I
yourself
mean,
clothes and whatnot.
yeah, I'll be on the phone sometime, do video chat, and I use the soul breath on the camera. If it look hazy, it's like, no, we're gonna talk in clarity. Okay. I'm not gonna have my fingerprint all on the camera. No,
Right.
I'm gonna put that soul breath on it.
Come
Wipe
on.
it down.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what you do. Yeah. Um, was it another question? We've been at it for about an hour and a half.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't
Oh, wait,
believe
hold
it.
on, wait. There was a question. There was one.
Really.
Um, How do you share your love with your man and children if your man seems jealous of the relationship with your kids?
Bluetooth is connected.
I believe you're going to be in an ongoing battle for one. So I don't believe that that would be a proper or healthy relationship. And I
Mhm.
think that's the major red flag if you see that, and I'll try to cut that off. However,
Mm.
if you want to go against it, I would say how you share your love with a man that is jealous of your kid. You're going to have to bend over backwards to try to show that man that you love him just as much as your kids. And depending on how flexible you are, I guess you could determine that pain level, personally on an individual basis. Uh,
Yeah.
but you may find yourself breaking your back to do something that's still not good enough. So uh, I would say tread lightly with that and also observe yourself to see if this is false or actually true. Uh, your kids can't do what your man can do for you, baby.
Wait. That was delayed. My bad. It was a delayed reaction. I just realized I registered what you said. Hilarious. That's a line on that Joe song that they took out,
Yeah.
right? But so for me, it's three ways you can do it, but I'm only gonna tackle two because I've witnessed two types. So one, if you're a single parent and then the other person isn't the parent of the other children, I think that's a dangerous slope. You do not allow anybody to compete with your children. That's some bullshit. And I've seen dudes who get jealous of their girl because get jealous of their girl's children because she's a full-time parent. She's a responsible parent. For whatever reason, the other parent isn't, really in the picture like that. So to their child, that's their world. So they're always going to be there. This is just what it is. So for you to try to insert yourself and bogart the space from a child from their mom because you feel that way, I think you probably need to work on your your issues that you have with your family, with your immediate family. Work that out so that you can understand what love is. And it's a dangerous situation for ladies to be in a situation where, uh-oh, what happened? You heard that? Every time I say some real shit, I don't know what's happened. You hear that?
I do.
I don't know what that is. That's that hate and spirit we was talking about. Hold on. I don't know what's happening.
Power off.
I don't know what that is. That is very interesting. This happening at this moment. It's getting louder. I'm moving my shit around now. Okay. I don't know. Well,
Do you
anyway,
still hear?
no, I do not. Oh, it's
What?
building up. There we
You
go.
still hear it?
It's building up a little bit. No? Okay, I can hear it. I hear a little bit of it. But anyway, um, so that's the first scenario where a child has to compete with a grown man. Just listen to how that sounds. With a grown man for the love of their mom. Um, that's just wild.
Right.
But I think I had brought up this scenario too to you, Zilla, before the show. I was saying that like if it's two parents that's together and it's their children and the situation occurs, then that's salvageable because it may be certain factors that may cause something like that to happen. Because the word, if you itemize every word, every letter in the word of this question, it says
Mhm.
seems. So that means that there's some conflict there. So it's different between being with a F boy and because he enjoys sleeping with you and you don't have the time that he needs, so he start having an attitude with you and having an attitude with your kid, competing with the time. That's totally different than somebody who both of y'all raising children together and something happens where maybe the other parent feels excluded from a lot. And it don't necessarily have to be from you. It could be from everyone else. I brought up an example of someone I know who their child was born. They were very happy. The family only congratulated her, didn't congratulate him.
Mm,
And then what ended up happening is that the child ended up passing away from SIDS.
mhm,
And just like when the child was first born, how they celebrated the child with the mom, they also grieved with the mom only and didn't grieve with the dad. So he felt a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? It was like he didn't feel like that he was acknowledged. He didn't feel like he was loved, and because she never noticed it, he kind of felt like that she was kind of like okay with the way it was happening. He's like, man, it's like we made this child together, and I can't get a back rub. I can't get a pat on my leg to say it's gonna be all right. Everybody's going to you, and you haven't even come to me. You know, so um, I know that's a little extreme, but I had to bring up two scenarios where if someone's together, there may be little things that happen with your significant other that if you catch it early enough, you'll see signs of little things when y'all before the child was born. You know, rubbing the belly, having fun, kissing the belly, taking pictures together, snacking together. You know, having snack. That's why I put on so much extra weight. I was a
mhm.
snack. You know, I'll go make all type of stuff. But when the baby's born, now it's time for business. We gotta handle our stuff. It's still a lot of love there, but we gotta handle things. So things are gonna change. And depending on what it is, it can affect either the mom or the dad.
Mhm.
So if you see something like that happening, I don't imagine that a parent will, compete with a baby behind it, but they will feel a certain way. And I
Right.
think that that's salvageable where you can talk to the person and be like, hey, I understand that things have changed since the child been here, but you know what? We made this child out of love, and we're gonna do this together. And maybe we should set aside a day. Maybe we can have some family members come and be used to a mom or somebody who we trust to come and hang with us and be around a baby, so that we can get out, take a walk for an hour or two together, just us.
Right.
Because it's not about y'all anymore. You know what I mean? It's about the baby. So I think communicating those wants and that's actually it actually becomes a necessity. You creating a life together. Y'all both have that's both of y'all agenda now is to raise this child up. So y'all have to be on the same page. So you don't want a misunderstanding to mess up, to take you off the course of the plan, which is to raise this child in the best environment that the child deserves to be in. So that's why it's a two-part. It's a third part to that, but it's really outside of my realm. But that's the best I can get.
All right. All right. Um, I
Oh,
would agree with that. I would
we
agree
have
with that.
another question.
Oh, wonderful, 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 wonderful.
It,
It says, what does balance look like in your intimate relationship? What does balance look like in your intimate relationship? Balance to me looks like the things that I have strengths in, especially the things I should have control over or strengths in, as far as either the male in the relationship or the man of the house. Um, I believe those are the things that a man or I would thrive in and wouldn't need any help. And at the things such as how can let me see, let me give an example. The things as such as like finances and bills, or um the organization of just, the things that we have to keep uh around or in order. I would hope and assume or expect that that's where the balance would pick up in from my partner. Um, if there's any other more, you know, detailed questions of what you're asking, I would ask that you put that in there. But I guess just to give a broad answer, that's how the balance would be to me.
Okay, that's good. For me, I think good planning. Good planning. I mean, career-driven individuals, maybe one of them in school pursuing a degree or something like that, or being parents, or just everyday things. Man, sometimes you just get caught up in that stuff, and then you find out you realize that you're not spending that much quality time with one another. So just affirming yourself and reassuring one another that other person matters. Doing little things, getting flowers every now and then, or getting a call saying, "Hey, I was just thinking about you," or little stuff like that. Oh, we've been working real hard. How about we set aside a day for just us, cell phones down. Let's just go out. Let's go walking. Let's go see a movie. Let's have a dinner date night. Stuff like that. Those things kind of keep things in check because you're already dealing with a lot outside of work, and you don't want your life to just be one-sided where I'm just only doing this. You're like a train just chugging along, chugging along, chugging along, because then it creates a disconnect with the person that you're around. So to keep things fresh, I think good planning, um, letting each other know how much you appreciate one another for what they do, um, being proud of the work they're doing. Hey, I realize you're making a sacrifice doing this. That's a good thing. Hold on, we got MD up in here.
Shout out to
Brother
MD.
yeah, I think I want to. MD, you want to come up and answer this question too? Okay, he needs a moment. He needs a moment. Okay, so let me know when you're ready. Um, if that's okay with you, Zil.
That's fine.
Okay, so but yeah, I think that good planning, keeping things fresh, because it makes you feel a lot better. Like you're doing all this work, and to know that the person that you with recognize that, and while they're doing it, you have a common goal. Make goals together. You have your own goals, of course, but then make goals together. Hey, we're gonna do this. This is the plan. So I think that's great. You know,
I can I can
so
understand that.
yeah, that I think that's very very important, which something that I have been working on. Um, my last few years, mingling around in relationships, like trying to be more mindful of that because I do work. I work a lot.
Hmm.
And then being a parent, a lot of my time is taken up. It would be hard to keep up with someone like me if if I just get caught up in work, caught up in parenting, caught up in other hobbies that I like doing. You know what I mean? So I have to check myself, like, man, okay, I get it, but life is more than just this. I need to kind of reset and acknowledge those around me, my children. I take good care of them, but that don't mean that I can't take them bowling or go to the
Right,
movies or little stuff like that every now and then. That stuff really counts.
right,
They
right,
appreciate you, but it's always good to show it in other ways too. So I
That-
hope whoever asked that question that they
yeah,
got a
shout out to
good
whoever asked that question. I
yeah,
would
that was
say the formula to receive balance within a relationship would be this. And tell me how you feel about it, man. In order to have balance, you need communication. You need a understanding, a thorough understanding of the mission and or the purpose, whatever you want to call it, or the agenda. Um, and everybody has to be 100% in and hold up their part, and that means meaning what you say and saying what you mean, and uh, last but not least, acting and executing on everything that you guys have uh, communicated over and explained and expressed and agreed upon. And once you do that, it gives a balance, and not only that, a fulfillment, because you know that you're holding up your own weight and doing what you spoke of and agreed to, and your partner is as well, and it's manifesting through the fruits of the labor. And once you receive the fruits of your labor, that gives an increase to everything whole. Um, it shows you that you're doing the right thing for one. It shows you that the person that you're doing the right thing for one with is also doing the right thing. And you've actually yoked with somebody that you can flourish with or grow with or build with or actually handle the right way with.
well said. Well said. Was there another question? That was because I know that was all I had.
Right. I don't know, but it's been a good show, man.
It sure has, man. I just realized I didn't realize how late it was until I looked up at the clock.
Right.
So
Yeah.
good brother MD, he might have to come on the next one.
Yeah, y'all got to tune in, but I appreciate y'all for coming in. Shout out to YouTube. You know what I'm talking about? Hit the wrong button. I'm sorry about that.
That's right. That's right. Hey, well, thank you for having me on. I already know, I'm a regular. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who came in and those who asked all the questions. I couldn't get all the names of the people who asked the questions, but make sure that you send questions every day. We're
Right.
we're 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 making sure that we get as many shows out as we can. We need as many questions so that we can just keep it going. So don't be shy. We two brothers that are gonna give you an open and honest answer to the best of our ability.
Always.
That's right.
This is Ask a Man Mondays with ZILLA and Tay News. Ask a Man Mondays.
can see you.